The idea that someone's mind may be manipulated or affected is known as brainwashing, and Sigma empaths find this to be extremely harmful. While empaths are receptive to many viewpoints and thoughts, they are adamant about sticking to their own convictions, therefore they will stop at nothing to prevent being brainwashed by society. But this is unavoidable because these are the outcomes of society's attempt to brainwash a Sigma empath. 10. Everything will be questioned. Sigma empaths will eventually start to doubt everything if society attempts to regulate them in order to allow them to have a different belief. This is because they want to see whether other people's beliefs are legitimate and acceptable. For Sigma empaths, brainwashing is usually associated with negativity since it encourages them to reject their own beliefs. They will be filled with inquiries about why society thinks this and that in reaction to this, since they wish to search for flaws. Empaths will demonstrate to society that their argument is pointless once they identify flaws. Whatever arguments they make, empaths are resistant to being persuaded. Empaths also think that if they continue to challenge society, it will assess how confidently these individuals are able to express themselves. In order to determine whether society has more rational beliefs than they do, they will actually employ deceptive questioning. 9. They'll outwit strategies that include indoctrination. Since they don't want to be mentally dominated, Sigma empaths make sure they can outwit these people's brainwashing techniques rather than allowing society to influence them. Empaths understand that brainwashing, which can cause anxiety and depression, cannot possibly take away their freedom. But when Sigma empaths sense that the indoctrination is becoming too hard to bear, they may swiftly shift from being soft to being a little bit severe. They will return the hostility of society, making such individuals believe they are uncontrollable. Once Sigma empaths have outwitted those individuals, they truly love it. Have you ever attempted to outwit someone who was brainwashing you only to find yourself in control of them as a result? Because they can pinpoint society, Sigma empaths find this to be gratifying. 8. They'll disregard society. Manipulation also includes brainwashing, and Sigma empaths will never put up with this type of conduct. They will disregard society and achieve contentment on their own as a result. Regarding them, disregarding society does not imply that they will experience melancholy. In actuality, since they are so independent and almost ever seek out other people's perspectives, Sigma empaths are able to live independently. They make advantage of their intelligence to get the freedom to behave as they choose and express themselves. As long as they can resolutely hold their position, they don't give a damn about the amount of hatred they encounter. Would you disregard the people in society who have attempted to brainwash you if you were in their position? You should, though, in order to safeguard your mental health the same way that Sigma empaths do. 7. They'll firmly establish their convictions. Sigma empaths desire to steadfastly adhere to their convictions, thus regardless of how compelling the stories they hear from society seem, they will never let their guard down. Their confidence increases as they exhibit their strong personalities, the more society has brainwashed them. People can never mislead Sigma empaths because they are self-conscious and aware of their surroundings, which grounds their views. It's interesting to note that, according to their perspective, Sigma empaths feel that remaining grounded enables them to be in the moment, plan their ideas, and advance in life. Since most of their dreams are grand, they don't allow anybody to undermine their aspirations in life. Finally, these empaths are less likely to let outside factors to pull them down. Have you ever witnessed manipulation of a Sigma empath? They are well-rooted, therefore that is unlikely to occur. 6. They won't submit to manipulation. When Sigma empaths discover they are being brainwashed, they become extremely strong. They won't think twice to tell them outright that they won't be bought off. Indeed, they don't hesitate to confront someone, especially if they believe they are in the right. Eventually, empaths will turn a blind eye to society to give the impression that they have no interest in speaking with anyone. In exchange, once they discover you're not fascinating to them anymore, these nasty people will usually move on to someone easier to attack. Because they have the ability to read people's minds, Sigma empaths are particularly skilled at these tasks and find it simpler to escape harmful environments. In order to avoid being manipulated, constantly stand up for yourself and cut them off. 5. Rather than trusting society, they will choose for their own tranquility. Sometimes brainwashing may make things appear real that other people are saying. But since they are aware of the truth and morality in this world, Sigma empaths do not fall for these tricks. They also know that society wants to alter their ideas, and they are conscious of this. No matter how much they are tempted, empaths choose to live in peace rather than in a disorderly community. For them, if they will consistently choose to adhere to social norms and standards, then their existence is pointless. In reality, they think they will be able to steer their own life as long as they maintain their ground. Have you ever realized that you have more influence on your surroundings and are less reliant on society's expectations? This is a result of your willingness to let go of other people's expectations of you. 4. They won't engage in further in-depth conversation. Increased exposure to society as a whole may cause Sigma empaths to draw in more negative individuals who may be attempting to brainwash them. People may view Sigma empaths as weak and easily tricked if they are overly amiable. Since of this, empaths steer clear of in-depth conversations with just anybody since they don't want to attract bad influences into their lives. For their part, individuals have to make the appropriate choices in order to know who to surround themselves and listen to. As long as they can stay away from toxic people's brainwashing techniques, Sigma empaths don't give a damn if they are labeled as antisocial. If you were in their position, would you be prepared to limit your in-depth conversations with people you don't yet know well? That way, you won't have to deal with the consequences of brainwashing. 3. They'll turn away a ton of applicants. Because they are skilled at reading people's emotions and thoughts, Sigma empaths are aware of every person's actions. However, Sigma empaths begin to reject a great deal of individuals who approach them for friendship, as soon as they realize they are being used as a target for psychological abuse, like as brainwashing. Indeed, empaths like taking a moment to greet and halt for others since they become quite protective of themselves when faced with negativity. They shun anyone who might emotionally or psychologically upset them since they detest seeing themselves go through emotional or mental breakdowns. They think it's never selfish to be cautious and reject someone for a period, especially if they have reason to suspect that they may be abused. Actually, as long as they feel secure and at ease, Sigma empaths get along quite fine with a small group of buddies. 2. Rather of adhering to society, they will pursue new hobbies. Sigma empaths would rather discover new interests and reject the society that tries to brainwash them than search for someone to hang out with and depend on. Since they don't want people to witness them battling negativity, empaths always want to recover on their own. Yes, excessively harmful activity, such as indoctrination, can lead to tension and low energy in Sigma empaths. They therefore go out more in this world, taking an interest in new pastimes, taking nature excursions, playing sports, and so on. Since they are also individuals, empaths try not to be too severe on themselves and sometimes become weary of defending themselves against others who possess neither empathy nor intellect. 1. They'll cut themselves apart from civilization. When society attempts to brainwash Sigma empaths, the most usual outcome is that the latter will sequester themselves for a period. For them, this is not a depressing thing, rather, they find it fulfilling. Empaths can heal and find inner peace by removing themselves from brainwashing techniques. Empaths who are Sigma also report feeling more alive when they spend more time away from stresses. There, individuals may ignore all the bad influences in society and concentrate on bettering themselves while growing gracefully. Therefore, if your goal is to develop and achieve serenity in your life, there is nothing wrong with isolating yourself. Because Sigma empaths have strong personal convictions, they are not susceptible to brainwashing. They do serve as an inspiration for the weaker people to courageously advocate for themselves. Thus, do not be afraid to act if you believe that someone is trying to brainwash you. Now, in order to have peace of mind, are you prepared to turn against society?